Hi everybody, I Pratyush Tiwari.
And I, Anand Singh.
We welcome today a very special guest on our show who is one of the most successful entrepreneurs that the college ever produced, who is somebody who was able to convert her final year project into a full-time enterprise, and who has been given this wonderful opportunity to present her project in front of the Prime Minister of our country not once, twice, but thrice, and was also presented an award by the Prime Minister of Mauritius, the Chairman of WHO, and our Prime Minister himself for the best IT solution at the Ayush Startup Challenge 2022. Today, we welcome Kajal Shrivastava from Bajaj. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you.
How does it feel to be back at the college after so many years?
It really feels great. बहुत कुछ बदल गया है in terms of infrastructure, in terms of like everything that college is doing for the whole ecosystem. कितना innovation को focus कर रहे हैं, कितना placements I keep on seeing on social media. It feels really great to see the success of the college from where you are.
You left the college in 2018 and you joined somewhere in 2014, right?
Yeah.
4 years of engineering. So it's been a journey since 2014 till 2022. There has been a lot of things. The world has changed completely. So how would you describe it from where you started and where you are right now?
Really speaking, I never thought that this will be my life. I wanted to pursue PhD because that is what all I knew. And I was very studious in the first year, and when it came to second year, I was seeking something which I could do really practically because I was doing engineering, and I wanted to be an engineer rather than likhna padhna type. So I started doing my own project in third year itself so that I could get time for GATE preparations and I could pursue my PhD. But life had other plans, so here I am. And in time of pandemic, it didn't stop us. So we were there working hard in our labs.
So when you entered the college, you wanted to do PhD.
Yeah.
And this sudden mindset change, becoming an entrepreneur from there, how did it happen? Like, what was it that inspired you to actually do something like this?
It was after I got grant from iCreate.
Oh, that's wonderful. Would you like to shed some light to our audience that what iCreate is and how it works so that it could motivate them as well?
Sure. I was a student just like you, and I had an idea in my mind and I didn't really know how to execute it. So I turned to my faculties in the department. They helped me and they guided me to apply for iCreate. iCreate is actually an incubator of Government of India and Government of Gujarat. It is in Ahmedabad, and where people like us can go with just an idea and create something feasible out of it. They have labs, they have peer-to-peer learning, it is full-fledged environment to create something. The name justifies itself, iCreate.
Well, that's one very valuable piece of information for our students. But coming back to the first year when you got into the college, why did you pick up electronics and communication?
Since my childhood, I had this craze of like breaking things and seeing the PCB. So that PCB used to look like a city to me if you look at it very closely. And I had this craze of building things, and I wanted to make a real life contribution. I learned something little bit about this coding in school, but I wanted to like see the thing which I have made, make a physical thing. So that was only possible through electronics. And word का कोर्स तो इंसान बदल भी सकता है, तो कोडिंग से कभी इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स पे भी आएगा.
So how do you feel the college was able to provide the environment that you were looking for to, really do these projects, as you mentioned, that electronics and communication was an interest because you wanted to make something physical. How do you think the college was able to provide this environment to you?
The best thing which a college can provide to a student is freedom. And when I wanted to do something, college was very supportive. They never stopped me from doing all these projects. For as I told you about iCreate, the condition for that was I had to live in Ahmedabad, and I was in third year. So I got NOC, like everything a child could imagine. They did. They even gave me access to labs. They even issued components so that I could build something. They even gave this access to DSO and all, as you are an electronics engineer, so you know.
Idea is one of the most basic aspects for any kind of startups. So how did this idea hit you? Is there any history behind this idea?
Actually, my father is an Ayurvedic doctor. In my early childhood, I wanted to become a doctor, and as I pursued engineering, that effect didn't go. So I took something from Ayurveda and used my skills as an engineer to build something like for the both world, for engineers and for the doctors as well. And for a business, to make a startup into a business, idea is not the only important thing. Actually, how you execute it, that is the most important part.
How were you able to check the validity of your idea?
First of all, I wanted to know that whether I can file a patent. So if something is innovative, you should be able to file a patent. And again, I consulted to Anubha ma'am in first year. So they even connected me with a patent lawyer, and he told me that yeah, it is something worth pursuing. So I went ahead with it.
So what were the challenges that you faced during this entire journey of yours?
So I was working on something very different, like which is not even considered science in the today's world. So for me, convincing people was the most difficult thing which I faced. And as a startup or like any student who is trying to do something out of their curriculum, they don't find the right people. But because they don't really open up and ask questions, don't just be afraid. Don't be afraid at all. Ask them. ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा they will send you away, right? But क्या हो जाएगा? So be cool and be bold. One more problem which I faced was financial support. Every startup does that. In that situation, I had to be persuasive. Like I failed 90% of the time. You only know 10% success.
Yes.
But that 90% failure, that is where you grow, and then you get the 10% success.
So like in your journey, were there any low points that you thought that now I really need to give up and follow the normal traditions of engineering, that is of course placements?
Yeah. So for me it was little different. But yes, when you see, you don't make money in startup in the beginning, right? So that is something you get parental pressure. You are not making money. You have to support yourself. You have to support your team. So that was a point where I thought that I might give up. But there was something in me which never allowed me to do that. I always had the energy to come again, wake up again and do it again.
So what was the motivation of yours that made you do this?
Actually, people are born twice. Like one is when you are physically born, and one is when you are spiritually or intellectually born. So that is when you find your goal. And I found my goal. I always knew that I was born to do something different, and that made me that gave me energy.
So obviously first comes the idea to the mind, and then the next step is the checking the validation of the idea, whether how practical it is, can it be converted, and obviously the last step is execution. Usually people, when they start up with the idea, they fail in the execution part. What is it that you did different in the execution part which made you today what you are?
In crux, if I say, I never gave up. That was the thing. I tried something, I failed. I tried something, I failed. I tried this sensor, that sensor. I even tried to learn Nadi to do this. So actually I can read you Nadi right now. So that was the difference. You have to be persuasive. You have to be persuasive. You don't have to give up. So that is the only thing which keeps you motivated. And people, why startups fail? Because they are seeing that something very comfortable is waiting for them. They can leave this hard work and persuasion and like daily failure thing, and can get a very good package in some MNC, and they can have a very good life. But what's the thrill in that? So you have to get out and get the thrill, learn. You have got a life experience, do something different.
If any student is having any ideas, so how can they approach to the college for their idea regarding anything?
First of all, you have to figure out that whether your idea is worth pursuing. So you should talk to your faculties, you should talk to your HOD, and then once you finalize that yes, this is what you want to do, then you should secure some funding for it. And what better place than Bajaj itself? We have, I guess, incubator here, and funded by MSME, TBI, and it is also recognized by UP government under UP startup. So you have plenty of opportunities so that you can convert your idea into a viable business.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Ma'am, like this is a very college-centric question that he just asked. So coming back to your college life, if you were to live that again, would there be anything that you would want to change within yourselves, or the process that you went through 4 or 5 years that you went through?
If I talk individually, I don't keep any regrets. So I would have lived the same way. But I want students to actually do the engineering. Like, don't just focus on bookish knowledge. That is not going to help you at all. You should actually apply that knowledge into the real world, so that everybody can benefit from it. Make a better world for everybody.
So would you like to share any message to our students who are watching our show?
Don't be afraid of failing. You should be like, students are young, and we have enough time so that we can try it out and fail. And it is not like that if you fail as a startup that you won't get placed. Now big companies are looking for failed entrepreneurs as for very senior positions. So you are not losing time. Don't be afraid and try out new things. Network with people, learn new things every day, and actually live a full life.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was lovely talking to you. And thank you so much to our viewers for watching this interview. With this, we wrap up. Thank you.